Hello and welcome to SideQuest Games. So this was a 1200 point battle report between Khazad and Moria. Basically the lists were Durin, Mardin and two shield bearers with a load of stuff, and then he had Druzag, Groblog, Durbs and Cave Drake with a load of Moria captain and a Black Shield captain as well, and then just loads of stuff with that. So that was two cave trolls, the Cave Drake, two bat swarms, and that one little spider there. I think that was it. Oh no, he had a dweller as well in the list there somewhere. So basically I had a load of Khazad, a load of Dwarf Warriors, a load of Rangers, and then I think there's like 4 shield, Vault Wardens in my list. So basically I deployed a bit skewed so that the Vault Wardens could rejoin on the left hand side, and then put all the Khazad Guard and a load of Dwarf Warriors on the right hand side. And just basically started to form a line as we moved up. We did really bad with the intelligence tests to begin with, where you got to pick up the objectives. Because we were playing Treasure Hoard, you have to do an intelligence test in order to pick up the objectives and run off of them. So you end your deployment and then do an intelligence test, and if you fail then you basically stood there with nothing, and that happened a lot at the beginning. I think at this point here, where I just zoomed past those Rangers, they actually did a wound on the Cave Drake, but of course later on in the game he's just going to munch somebody and pick that back up, so kind of ineffective really. So we're both moving towards each other. Those Vault Wardens formed a wall on what would have been my left hand side of the battle, and he was moving his Cave Drake towards me down that side, and I had all my Khazad Guard and a load of dwarfs on the right hand side. It was making a really big choke point. As you can see there, I've got the objective. I feel like maybe I should have moved a little bit faster there. Maybe I could have done with a march on that side. My two shield bearers were I had one on the right hand side wedged up against the wall, the other one on the left was just there ready to provide that might for a move, which she did, and then bobbed along back towards Mardin that was there for the middle objective. Basically we were just moving towards each other, trying to get as many shots in as we could along the way. He had failed his intelligence test to pick up quite a lot of his objectives, which held him back a little bit, but then the lines started to clash. I was really just trying to keep that wall up on the left hand side for the shield wardens there. Vault Wardens. Hold that Cave Drake back, whilst on the right hand side here just trying to maintain that line, and bob a guy across really for the bonus points at the end. At this point I've got my shield bearer on the left hand side of that rock, by the cave troll, and the idea was to try and bring up Durin really and try and get those 3 heroic combats, which did eventually happen, but it was just slow. It was really slow. The line the D7 dwarves obviously, so if they're not dying they're just stepping back a little bit, so I had a load of ineffective soldiers stood behind, not really doing much, to be fair. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to bring them around the rock. See where that ladder is there? I could have gone around the back on the rock, but there's a cave troll there, look, so it's like, maybe Khazad Guard could have gone around there, because they were upgraded to Hearth Guard, so they would have been fearless, just be able to get in. But then the potential to die is just massive. So I didn't really want to break that line. I did eventually remember to get a guy up on that rock and start moving him over towards my opponent's side of the board edge, because obviously that's where the bonus points lie. and yeah, he was on the rock, and I forgot to move him for several turns. But he did do his throwing weapons though, which was obviously a good idea. Keep that going. Yeah, so it just become a bit of a bloodbath really, on that right hand side, and on this left hand side it was just a slow train with the cave drake there. The cave drake was just being held back with a mixture of my vault wardens and my rangers, and yeah, a few combats on the to the right of the cave drake, but not much else going on. So on this left hand side though, we would again, it was just so chock-a-block, but I just couldn't really move anything, and eventually I did get Durin to get into loads of combats and sort of try and get those 3 heroic combats in, and Martin was up on the rocks there as well, which I think he did call 1 or 2 3 heroic combats, but yeah, it was just contested in that centerpiece for so long that I couldn't really move anywhere. And at that point I'd lost my shield bearer on the right hand side, Durin, and the King's Champion, who was also carrying one of my objectives. As you can see, there's cave drop. Yeah, so they were trying to hold things up over there. Really, I should have maybe before I moved the King's Champion into anything, because that line was holding up so well, maybe have passed it to a little warrior, and like a Khazad guard, maybe, and just had them run away with it, because eventually he did die, so that sucked. Yeah, but overall it was a good game. It was a bit long-winded. There's a lot of men to move at 1200 points, and I think it was just the fact that combats, it was so contested in these channel points that it was just basically move combat, and we couldn't really get anywhere until a bit later on. You'll see in the shots here, you can see some of the guys making their way over the rocks, and I had eventually moved my iron guard across the bridge, but unfortunately by the end of the game it was not enough, and with me having lost the other objective marker that the King's Champion was carrying, it was all the way through the game pretty much a 6-6 game, and I screwed up by letting my King's Champion get done over by a cave troll on the other side. Again, I think in hindsight maybe I could have done something with Durin, looking back at the footage. I just didn't really think about it, unfortunately. Maybe looking at it, maybe it was a bit wedged in, but yeah, so yeah, it was a really good game. It was close all the way through, as I say, and this board looks absolutely amazing. It's made by Nick Walker. A lot of people in the Mesbg community in down south will know him especially, and yeah, that centerpiece it was a bit of a pain in the arse to play with, to be fair, but it looks nice, and it's a display board bit really. So Mitch, my opponent's waiting for a different centerpiece to go in there and slot in to make it a bit more playable. So yeah, maybe round 2 at some point. Yeah, so yeah, the game ended on a 9-4. Mitch had somebody on my side of the board and 4 of the objectives. Neither of us broke, neither of us lost any wounds or anything on either of our leaders, and unfortunately due to life and stuff we had to stop the game quite early. But yeah, overall it was a great game. Love playing Khazad. In my last video I was talking about basically the circumstantial banner that they have, a bit like Moria's nerfed rule, but I don't know. I'm not too sure about it because it is circumstantial. Once your opponent's worked out what's going on, it tends to be like something they then bear in mind, and it is avoidable at points. And it only takes really bad dice rolls on my account, and I can quite easily lose dwarves like anybody could lose goblin or anything. So yeah, all the while you're hitting on a 6, it's still on the dice in it. So yeah, I think it ended where I'd killed like something like 28 of his men or something like that, which worked out to be almost a third. I think he had like 75, 72 dudes or something. I can't remember how much. I rewind, go back, look at the beginning of the video, and it's obviously going to be on the army list. But yeah, so he had killed about 18 of my men, which I think was actually close to breaking me, to be fair. I'll have to double check and go back and have a look. But yeah, it's an awesome game, and like I say, the board looks absolutely awesome. It's a really themey game, and yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate that my King's Champion couldn't hold his shit together at the end to warrant me a draw.